Good evening, and welcome to another screening of the graphic novel Picture Show. I'm your host, Sybil Pandemic. I'm sorry, you caught me right in the middle of a thing.
Miss Sybil, when can I stop?
When people start to give a shit about your role-playing anecdotes. Speaking of gratuitous and unnecessary adult content, today's topic is Punisher Warzone. Punisher Warzone is one of the most hated films I've ever looked at on this show. If X-Men 3 was Vlad the Impaler in the eyes of comic book fans, this movie would be Adolf Hitler. But I'm here to tell you that Hitler was right! Not only is Warzone one of the most faithful comic adaptations ever filmed, but it's one of the most entertaining action movies this side of Crank 2. The film is an almost non-stop meat grinder of ridiculous cartoon violence, spraying more blood than Volvatron's tits on the best of days. Interrupted only by what is, in my correct opinion, the adaptation's weakest aspect, the story. It's not that it's poorly written or executed, I guess. It's just that it's really not what anyone came to see, and it's absolutely full of tired storytelling cliches. In fact, let's make a drinking game out of it. Everyone go and grab yourselves a delicious adult beverage. Oh, unless you're under 21. In which case, just enjoy a tasty, off-brand cola. Actually, fuck it. Forget I said anything at all. We're not doing the drinking game. That's a terrible idea. Nobody drink at all, okay? What do you mean we already set up the clip? Shit! Okay, instead of drinking, whenever the video prompts you to drink, just pretend it's saying to go and love America, okay? Or hug a nice, fluffy kitten. I'm sorry, guys. I really can't afford another lawsuit. Not after the last one. Ladies, gentlemen, and variations thereupon, I have called this press conference because I am in possession of some information that, if it were to ever be made public, would be very damning for all parties involved. I will admit that for a time they had bought my silence, but I can no longer live with this weight on my conscience. On the set of Fireproof, the woman whom Kirk Cameron kissed in the final scene was not, in fact, his real-life wife, as he would have us all believe, but the actor playing his wife. He threatened that I would burn in hell for eternity if I ever told anyone. But I will no longer be a part of Kirk Cameron's vile infidelities and his seditious attempts to destroy the family unit. I will not be taking any questions. Thank you for your time. You know, it's interesting. For someone who hates the Jews so much, Kirk Cameron's got some pretty good lawyers. Just saying. Roll the clip. Frank Castle accidentally kills an undercover FBI agent whom he took for a gangster. And having taken an innocent life, he contemplates giving up punishing forever. But his only friend, played by a famous character actor, convinces him to carry on. After the death of his partner, the man Punisher killed, an agent joins a special task force to take him down. Meanwhile, a crime boss whom Frank tried to kill in the first act comes back horribly disfigured after a botched plastic surgery, vowing revenge on the man who did this to him. Oh, and he's insane now. The newly renamed Jigsaw then kidnaps the FBI agent's wife and daughter, whom Frank had started directly protecting, out of a sense of guilt, and having been reminded of his own wife and children. It's more like the plot of 3 separate movies jammed together between the far more interesting bits where Punisher is throwing people into glass crushers and hanging upside down from chandeliers being spun in a circle propelled by gunfire. If this is not awesome to you, you have no soul. You just hate fun. Even if the story itself isn't all that interesting, the acting is still Okay, truth be told, it's kind of a mixed bag. You've got the good guys who are taking the events of the film deadly seriously, while the bad guys are just so ludicrously over the top. In the best way, though. Everyone technically does what they're supposed to, but some of the smaller parts are just kind of phoning it in, I feel, which is really unfortunate. But the acting creates some of the best moments this entire thing has.
I'm calling this in. Put your hands behind your back.
I love this scene. This agent's reaction when Punisher just blows some dude's face off with a shotgun is amazing. And it's not like, oh my god, what have you done? It's more, god damn it, Frank! Really? Seriously? Why? Why did I expect that you wouldn't do that? I'm really more upset with my own naivete at this moment. Oh, and by the way, that little girl is a trooper. She sees this freak with his face all cut up, she sees these two cops get killed, a guy get his face punched in and another blown off, and she's just fine with it. Just sitting there, perfectly well adjusted. It must be all the violent video games. Now, of all the people who've played the Punisher in the past, which, well, it's really just the two, Ray Stevenson is easily the best. His Frank Castle is just this huge, sweaty mass of meat who absolutely looks like he lives in a sewer, never bathes, and survives on military rations. And the guy has maybe a page of dialogue in the whole movie, which only serves to reinforce the brooding antisocial miasma of misery and vengeance that surrounds the character. And Jigsaw is, well, the comparisons to Jack Nicholson's Joker are not unfounded, and I've seen better makeup jobs at local haunted houses around Halloween. I said Halloween, so this counts as my Halloween episode, right? Oh, fun fact. You know who initially auditioned for the role of Jigsaw? Freddie Prinze Jr. Yeah. Apparently the guy's a huge Punisher fan. He's been reading the comics ever since he was a kid. So Lionsgate Studios basically forces Lexi Alexander, the director, to give him an audition. She's like, okay, whatever, we'll do it. So he comes in, and he absolutely kills it. Pun sort of intended. And she's like, oh, this guy's amazing. I have to give him the part, yeah? And after all that, Lionsgate's like, no, you're not actually gonna hire him. I don't know, guys. Hollywood politics, I guess. I don't know. Now, I've noticed that a lot of self-proclaimed Punisher fans absolutely hate this movie. And my question to you people is, what the fuck do you want? I mean, you hated the 2004 movie because there wasn't enough killing, and now you hate this one because there's too much? And it's not even like it's too real, because this movie is just wall-to-wall, ridiculous, over-the-top, frog-in-a-blender cartoon deaths, and every single one of them was taken directly from the comics. Well, except one. The scene where Punisher kills these insane parkour guys, which is actually another funny story. So, when Lexi Alexander's friends found out she was directing this movie, they were like, okay, cool, but whatever you do, don't put any goddamn parkour guys in it. Because as some of you might remember, back in the early aughts, before 2010, Hollywood was going through this weird phase where they had guys doing parkour in all their action movies. It was really weird. And it bred a very strong negative reaction in a lot of people. So Lexi just says, wow, lots of people really hate these parkour guys. So why don't I put them in the movie and we'll just blow them up? And it leads to one of the most beautiful sequences I have ever seen in the movie. I'm sorry, I'm a little overcome. It's just so beautiful. And no, I'm not going to show it to you here. If you want to see it, you're gonna have to go out and buy the movie like I did. If you're looking for a strong story and an ensemble of interesting characters, you should probably look elsewhere. But if you want to see the Punisher doing Punisher things, there is no better alternative. Well, except maybe for the subject of our next video. I'm Sybil Pandemic, and sometimes comics are a drag.
Listen, bro.